Okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the message that I did this morning, manifesting the life of your desires and immersion. I'm just gonna go a little bit into more detail and actually give you some more examples that came to me today. How immersion will help you to manifest new ways of being. A lot of times when we're trying to create new ways of being, it seems very difficult. We might be able to manifest a singular event like a trip, or or some money, or a car, or a home, or whatever. You might be able to manifest these things really well, but you can't manifest wealth, to be just a wealthy person, or to be healthy, or to be fit, or to have loving relationships, or whatever it is. But something that is an ongoing manifestation that changes your entire life, and that's because you have to change the way your identity. You have to change the base that you're living from. You have to be that person to manifest that person. You have to be a wealthy person. You have to think wealthy. You have to make wealthy decisions to create wealth. You have to make healthy decisions. You have to feel healthy in order to be healthy. Same thing with being fit. You have to feel like a fit person. You have to make fit decisions, and then you'll manifest that into your life also. And this is why immersion is so works so well for that. And the first example is language. If I go ahead and I do Rosetta Stone or any language tool for learning Italian, and I do it once a hour a day, every day, I'm gonna get pretty good results after a couple months, and I'm gonna learn some cool stuff, and I'm gonna be pretty good at it. But let's say I have the option to go to Italy instead, and I go to Italy. Within 1 month of being in Italy, around people that only speak Italian and very little English, I will learn more in that month than it'd probably take me a year to learn on Rosetta Stone, because I'm totally immersed in it. I have no other choice but to learn. So that's one example, and you don't have to go to Italy. There's other ways to immerse yourself. You can immerse yourself through books. You could be reading books. I could immerse myself in Rosetta Stone for like, yeah, I could do 6 hours a day of Rosetta Stone, or I could do an hour Rosetta Stone. I could do an hour of reading a book in Italian, or like children books in Italian. Then I can go to a group, a meetup group with Italian people, and try and speak Italian with them. But the whole point is, you want to put yourself, the more you put yourself in a situation, and it will be uncomfortable. That's the thing why a lot of people don't change their ways of being, because when you immerse yourself into something that will change your identity, your base identity, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, because that identity is kind of like defending itself, in your subconscious mind. If you're chubby, like I was, if I when I was really big when I was younger, and I felt like I had a chubby identity, and then I'm hanging around people that's fit and healthy and eating right and working out, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna feel uncomfortable, because I know that being around them is like a threat to my old identity. Even though I want that, I'm gonna want to leave that uncomfortable feeling. And that leads me to my next example, where I have a friend now, a good friend, and I was talking to him about this, and he gave me some examples of what happened in his life, and it's perfect. When he was younger, he went through some things and didn't make the right decisions, and ended up with a group of guys that were stealing and robbing, things like that. And he said the first time he went to rob a house, he was so uncomfortable that his ears started to bleed. That's how uncomfortable he was, and scared to be there. But he stuck around. He stayed there, and eventually he started feeling so comfortable doing these things that he even got to the point that he was robbing people by gunpoint. Now that shows you that even when something is horrible, if you stick around enough, he immersed himself in people that committed crime, in a life of crime. He became that person, and he became good at it, he said. And then he had like he had a moment of clarity, and he went to jail, and he didn't like this. And he's like, he promised, God, that I would change my life if I get out. So what he did, as soon as he got out of jail, he went to church. He went to church, and he cut off cold turkey all his old friends. Never spoke to any of those guys again, never saw them after he left jail. And he immersed himself in church. Now, what do you think happened in church? Of course, he felt uncomfortable. He probably had thoughts of, this is not who I am. I'm a sinner. I don't deserve to be here. I can't be like this. These people are too good. And I'm sure it was very comfortable. And he did confirm it was very uncomfortable in the beginning. But what happened? By the time he had gone through, he was totally part of the community. He felt comfortable. He was going out there handing out pamphlets and things like that after a short period of time because he totally immersed himself in that, you know. And now he's going on to something else. But just want to show you that you can change your identity through immersion. Another example is I just had a client and she was telling me that she got a new camera and how much she loves her camera, and she said that I asked if she's shooting a manual mode. It's a DSLR, a digital camera, and she said yeah, she is shooting a manual. And the only reason she learned manual because when she got this new camera, she didn't realize that it only had manual settings. So when she started using this camera, she had no choice. Now she's amazing at it, but it was very uncomfortable. She didn't have automatic to fall back on, you know. So now she's a pro because she had no choice, and she put herself in an uncomfortable position. She could return the camera, but she didn't. She just stuck with it, and now she's amazing at it. Another one I want to give you is this story I heard about this guy, and he has his own business, and he went through web business, and he was living, I can't remember where he was living, some other state, and he was doing it for about 5 or 6 years with very little results. You know, he's not making money. I don't even think he was making any money, but he wasn't doing well at all. And then he ended up moving to San Francisco with his wife, and when he was in San Francisco, he started meeting people that had web businesses that were doing really well, and it started changing something in him. He was like, you know, it's possible. And then he started doing anything he could to be with those people. He would offer to take them out to lunch and things like that, and he became friends with them. And when he started changing his circle of people, his influence, and got immersed in that world, which he didn't have where he was before. Nobody was doing what he was doing, and people thought he was crazy. And now he's immersed in San Francisco. Within 6 months, he made more money than he ever made in the whole 5 years before, and he became wildly successful in his website. So just to show you that how well immersion works. But you have to understand, when you first start, you're going to feel uncomfortable, and that's natural. The first time you start a fitness program, if you join CrossFit and you join one that's responsible and good, that's not going to hurt you, you join a CrossFit and you know you're out of shape, of course you're going to feel uncomfortable, because it's not because of the exercises so much. It's because of your identity. You don't identify with this ultra fit person, but I guarantee if you stick with it, then take it on a level further, and you start hanging out with those people in your CrossFit class on a regular basis, and making that your world, you will become that fit person within no time. So to sum it all up, changing your ways of, you know, if you want to change your way of being, you have to, the best way I know is immersion. So anytime you find a situation, and like I said, it doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't have to be like I go to Italy, or you know, or I buy a camera without automatic mode. It could be a lot of little things, like when I immersed myself, when I lost all the weight, and I got in the Men's Health magazine, which was my goal. I immersed myself through, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I ordered Men's Health magazine, so that was coming to me on a regular basis. I started watching all kind of things, and it was unconscious. I wasn't doing this on purpose. I just was like very motivated, and I just wanted to change my life. And I started watching all these fitness shows, and I bought books, and I was reading books, and then my magazine would come, and I was going to the gym all the time, and then I started getting friends that was into that stuff, and I started hanging out with them and going to healthy restaurants. My whole life became about fitness and health, you know, and I was consuming that on a daily basis, and like tons of it from all angles. And I immersed myself, and after 10 years of working out with very little results, in 1 year I got the results that I wanted. I became healthy and fit, and I ended up in the magazine I wanted. 10 years prior, I barely made anything. I was like dabbling, you know. I was dabbling, I was going to work out, you know, things like that. And that was it. I would go to the gym, work out a little bit, come home. That was it. After I totally immersed myself, changed the people well, not changed, but I hung out with gym rats, you know. I watched gym shows, you know. I read health and nutrition books and health books. I got the magazines, you know. I listened to podcasts about it, YouTube videos. Like I just was like obsessed, you know. I was immersed in myself and I didn't even know. So I hope this helps you guys. You can comment if you like to if there's anything else you'd like to hear, and I'll get back to you.